Hey there, Skullheads. I'm Snags.
And I'm old Silky.
And tonight we're talking about Clint Eastwood.
Yes. Episode 126. And we're talking about Clint Eastwood before he passes away, which
Yeah,
we have not been so lucky.
I know, but but you know what if this was going to follow the pattern, we would have decided to do this, then it would have gotten delayed a week and Clint would have died within the, you know.
Right.
That's how it's
Right.
been working lately. But yeah, that motherfucker's old. He's probably going to take a dirt nap any minute now, so it's a good
Yeah.
time to drop an episode.
Yeah.
And
He's
I say that with
85
all due respect.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
Let's see here. Born in May 31st, 1930.
Yeah.
So that's 1930. So he was
Oh,
70 in
he's
2000.
95. He's 95.
Yeah, this dirt nap city like any minute now. The wind blows the
Oh,
wrong way. He's
I'm
gone.
not ready to, it's bad enough we're in a post uh
Lemmy world and post Ace
Lemmy
world.
world,
Yeah.
all the Ramones are gone.
Ozzy.
This is rough, It's
Yeah.
rough shit. Ace is gone, Ozzy's gone, but anyway, we did wanna talk about a few things before we start Clint Eastwood. One thing that just finally made, Spotify, and I've been waiting on it, is called, it's by The Faces, and it's called Early Steps. Now, I was not uh, entirely sure what would be on this thing. And it's their first recordings, um, rare live rehearsals. Basically, the handful of songs that ended up on First Steps, actual first step. So that's what Easy
Yeah, it's
Steps
pretty cool.
is. But
Early steps. Yeah.
yeah, early step. I mean, but yeah. Um, So it's their first sessions at Olympic Studios, and, a lot of this stuff would end up, on that first album, but, pretty cool.
That is
So
pretty cool. We also want to congratulate Kiss on getting their Kennedy Center Awards. Footage of them getting their awards in the White House all over the internet. So that was cool. And then tell Gene Simmons to calm the fuck down with the anti Ace Frehley comments at this moment, which is like the worst moment. He apparently gave an interview like this week where he said, "Oh, Ace, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you can die from just falling down. This has got to do with Ace's drinking. And Ace,
yeah, and you can stumble, you can have a brief moment of vertigo and fall, and who's to say he didn't fall and hit his head the right way? Um, you
yeah,
can fall off a bike
that's
stone
an
sober.
absurd statement to say you can't die from falling down. That's absurd.
Well, it's
And
what's worse is this is your brother, uh, 1/4 of the reason Gene Simmons is so rich,
yeah,
uh, goes back to what Ace, uh, put in, 7, 8 years doing, you know?
and here's the deal. Um, Ace, according to Ace, he had been sober for like 20 years by the time he died. So I get that used to irritate Gene and make his life difficult and all that. But Ace irritating Gene 20 plus years ago has nothing to do with why Ace died, and Gene needs to just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
There's a
Take your Kennedy Center award and go back to your
and
lavish
stick it up your
millionaire
ass.
lifestyle. Yeah.
There there's a there's a famous custom that you don't speak ill of the dead.
Yeah.
Um,
You know,
and this is a cheap shot.
at the
It
exact
it's a
wrong
cheap shot.
time. His
Yeah.
Ace's daughter just collected his Kennedy cen it's just, come on. Come on, Gene.
It's a
Reel it
cheap
in, buddy.
shot,
Reel it in.
and regard you don't have to win every battle, you don't have to even comment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
in other words, he just needs to shut the fuck up. But anyway, so we got that out of our system.
yep,
Clint
there's
Eastwood,
your
tell
KISS
us a
reference for, the people at home keeping tabs, jot that one in.
That's right.
KISS
That's right.
reference for Clint
Oh,
Eastwood,
every
episode
episode, yeah.
126.
Yeah.
126 episodes, brother.
And the funny thing is, like, we do this with almost no external motivation. We just like hearing ourselves talk. It's not like we're
Now
getting cavalcades of cash coming through the door from this thing,
no,
you
but
know?
I sit down at some point and devote a couple hours of research, cussing. I don't ever wanna do this again, and then I get over that and,
Yeah.
um, so anyway, uh,
So
so
tell
like
us
we
about
said,
Clint Eastwood.
he was born, like you said, May 31st, 1930. This was right at the beginning of the Great Depression. The Eastwoods, his father, Clint Eastwood, Sr., would move the family around constantly looking for work. Um, Over the years, they finally settled in Oakland in in the late 30s, and as a teen, Clint became enamored with jazz, also with Charlie Parker. And you got to think about jazz in the 30s was probably pretty much mainstream pop music on the radio. You know,
But yeah. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, you
the
either
Bobby
had just
Soxers, Frank
you had the
Sinatra is
schmaltzy
kinda
the schmaltzy white "How much is that dog in the window" shit,
yeah.
and then you had real music,
Well, you had the whole
which
swing thing, Count Basie and all the Duke
yeah,
Ellington and
yeah,
all that stuff that stood the test of
in
time, but that
insanely
was
popular.
that was your mainstream youth music at the time, and the crossover between those 2 genres, people like Frank Sinatra,
Yeah,
um,
but
but
the
that was yeah,
Crooners
that
were
was that was the rebellious music of the time that the old people couldn't stand.
yeah, yeah, so, uh, he played the family piano and briefly thought about becoming a jazz musician, um, and then, this was I had to I found I don't know where I saw this, but, there's so many documentaries about Clint Eastwood, on Prime Video. If you just, speak into the microphone or type Clint Eastwood, you they're all gonna pop up along with the movies, but,
Yeah,
anyway,
he's a living legend.
he is, he was kicked out of Piedmont High School for writing an obscene suggestion to a school official on the athletic field scoreboard, and then burning an effigy on the school lawn, as well as other school infractions. So I'm with a an obscene suggestion. It might have said "Go fuck yourself"
Yeah, no,
on
that's
the
awesome.
yeah.
Clint doesn't take no shit. That's one of the great things about Clint, and apparently he never did.
Yeah, I find that extremely hilarious. You think 1945, he's 15, 16,
Yeah,
46. uh, tells the principal to go fuck himself on the field scoreboard
and then
and then burns
burns
an
him in
effigy.
effigy.
They
That's
had to
awesome.
think that he was the Antichrist, and,
Plus, he was
they
into that crazy, wild, horrible jazz music,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He
Um,
was a badass
so
in school,
he,
obviously.
uh he went to Oakland Technical High School. And he did graduate from there, February 2nd of '49. This I did not know. He was drafted into the Army in 1951, during the Korean War, and,
Interesting.
he was a passenger on a Douglas AD bomber when, they ran out of fuel near Point Reyes. And using a life raft, Eastwood and the pilot swam 2 miles to safety. This is in the Pacific Ocean. So, uh,
He was a swimming instructor and a lifeguard too, so he had a little bit of training in that respect.
yeah, but that's kind of scary. First, you dip into the ocean, and then you got to swim for your life. Um, but he was
I swim
discharged.
I was just gonna
What's
say,
that?
I swim pretty regularly for exercise. If
Uh,
my plane crashed and I had to swim 2 miles to safety, I'd just be dead. 2 fucking
really,
miles? 2
2 miles
miles? That's insane.
with the current, brother. Which way was the current going? They were in a life raft. However,
Oh, I thought he swam
no,
2 miles.
they had a
Oh,
life
good
raft,
god.
but
Okay. Alright.
you know how much of that was paddling with.
I'm at pace, I'd just kick back and cruise to the shore, but
Yeah, well,
anyways.
it just depends, but,
I know you
he
were
was
wondering what I would
discharged
do in that situation.
he was discharged in February of '53, so he was in the Army, and then after signing the Universal, he starts appearing in some films, and there are a handful of films listed that you can track down, but you're only gonna see him very briefly here and there. Revenge of the Creature, he's like a scientist looking for his lost rat, and it's in his pocket. Um, Tarantula, he's at the very end of the movie, he's the guy they call in the, pilot to bomb the tarantula, and he's got a full helmet and mask on, so you only see his eyes, but you can hear his voice,
You know,
and
it's
then
Clint
yeah,
apparently he was
um
in a episode of Mr. Ed in 1962.
yeah, yeah, he did the TV stuff too,
Yeah.
and but he was in Francis in the Navy, Ambush at Cimarron Pass, a few other brief things, and the problem that Universal had is that he was 6 foot and lanky and, just very stiff, and they just didn't feel that he was a leading, character, and so then he gets into the TV side of things and is doing, Rawhide.
Rawhide, yeah.
8 seasons, um, that went, I believe, 50. I forget now, um 1959 to 1965, and, 217
12
episodes.
12-hour days, 6 days a week.
Yeah, yeah, it's,
And
madness,
we think us doing this podcast is demanding.
right? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, 1963, um after Eric Fleming actually turned down the option to go to Spain. Eric Fleming was the trail boss, on Rawhide. So
Okay.
he turns down this insane, movie pitch to go to Spain and be in an Italian-made Western, with an unknown director. Eric Fleming said, "Yeah, I'm good." And Clint went, for a free trip to Spain, and he had a deal where he got like 15 grand, but a guaranteed, Mercedes after the end of the film.
I have a question. So A Fistful of Dollars was shot in Spain and not Italy?
No, it was shot in Spain, yeah,
Okay. Alright, I'm just
not in
making
Italy.
sure
Yeah.
that wasn't a misspeak. Okay, keep going.
No, they just outside of Madrid, there's a lot of open terrain, and it was just, uh, beautiful to film that, on that landscape, and,
Yeah.
it's s but
Sure.
it was just such a
Apparently
quirky thing. "Hey, we're gonna go to Spain and, film this
Oh,
Western that's
yeah.
gonna be shown in Italy." You're like, "What?"
Nobody was doing that. A Western shot in Europe, what that's like a wacky B movie desperation. Here's the deal. Tarantino says if there's any director he identifies with the most, it's Sergio Leone.
Wow.
And the whole, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like, that friendship is based on Burt Reynolds and Hal Needham, his lifelong friend and stuntman, but the career arc, there's a lot of Clint Eastwood in that career arc where he's doing
Mhm.
the guest spots on the TV shows, and then he
Yeah,
gets the
yeah.
chance to go to Italy, and, that's obviously based on Clint, so
Sure. Yeah.
interesting, keep going. This is
Um
interesting, yeah.
So, Sergio Leone, um, Fistful of Dollars, then a year later for a few dollars more, and then, in '66, they do The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now, these 3 films were, only over in Italy, and then just like Bruce Lee's, The Big Boss and The Chinese Connection, they just got bigger and bigger, and around the world, everybody's wanting to see it. These 3 movies didn't come to America until '67.
Interesting.
So,
And then
um
that's basically when his career starts to blow up in the
yeah,
US,
it
right?
really did,
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
was in Hang 'em High in '68, and it just
yeah,
went from there, but,
and he produced he was one of the producers on Hang 'em High, so he
yeah.
immediately was like, "I'm gonna start having some control over what I'm
Yeah, get my
acting
foot
in."
in the door,
Yeah,
and that's all from, the director kinda becoming a father figure to him.
and the other
So
thing is, that movie provided a title for an excellent Van Halen song.
yeah, exactly. So let's
Yeah,
get that in there.
absolutely.
So A Fistful of Dollars came out in early '67, let's say February, then,
Right.
about 4 or 5 months later, few dollars more, and then late in the year, '67, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So, moviegoers saw Clint Eastwood make 3 westerns in under a year as far as they were concerned, you know? Um,
That's cool.
and they call him the man with no name, but he had names in each of these movies, Blondie in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, um, Manco, something like that in, Fistful of Dollars, but he just had, the same poncho, um, just, an anti-hero, and, Eastwood's huge influences was Gary Cooper and, um, White Heat. Why am I drawing a blank? James Cagney. Um, and he really identified with Cagney's, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? He's just a very much an anti-hero, you know? Cagney
Yeah,
might,
and
pat a kid on the head and give him a lollipop or sling him through a door, you know?
well, this persona too, this anti-hero persona set him up perfectly for the '70s, the next decade, where
Mhm.
the anti-hero was the thing. And you saw
Right.
and we've talked about this, but you saw people like John oh, no, that was me and a coworker were talking about this. You saw people like John Wayne start to go out of style, and, when we get to Dirty Harry, it's interesting to note that role was first offered to John Wayne, and he was like, "Oh, this is too dark." And Clint just took it and ran with it. And then John Wayne did a movie called I forget what it was called, McCluskey or something like that, that
No,
was his
McGavin or
something like that. It's a f
McGannigan.
obviously was not a big hit because we can't even remember the title, but that was his dirty cop movie that he did after he turned down Dirty Harry. He's, "Oh, I gotta do a dirty cop movie," and,
Yeah,
and it's not
yeah.
a bad movie, but it's a day late and a dollar short. But anyways, Keep talking. Let's stick with the timeline. This is interesting
Um,
how it unfolds here.
so I wanted to, just kinda look at the legendary roles. Um, then he does Hang 'Em High, which is just fantastic. Um, Coogan's Bluff, where he's in San Francisco, kind of a, what would eventually, what was that TV show with, where the Texas Marshal goes to New York? Me shit. Dennis
Was it Chuck?
Weaver
I don't know.
Dennis Weaver with the cowboy hat.
I don't know, man. I'm drawing a blank, but it's basically a prototype for that show. He's like
Yeah,
a
because,
Texas
because
marshal in San
he's
Francisco.
like this cowboy, going through, San Francisco chasing after Don Stroud. And what's great about Eastwood movies is, Don he would kinda collect these, he would collect these, actors, and they would, you know, appear in several movies along the way. He just kinda kept a
Yeah,
loose
he had
base.
like a yeah, yeah. That is
Um,
true.
but, so Coogan's Bluff, Where Eagles Dare, a fantastic movie, um, where they gotta climb, over a mountain, chasing after, somebody, and, a lot of mountain climbing and stuff.
Cool.
So, then Paint Your Wagon, which was a musical, an odd choice, but I think musicals were still big in the late '60s, and he just did one, you know, and you got, quite a cast there, Paint Your Wagon, um, but it's a musical, and he does sing in that, so it's kinda funny, uh, that he would be in that. Um, so there's a movie called McHugh where, John Wayne is, like, gun wielding and all that. Brannigan is the movie we're thinking of.
The John Wayne movie
Yeah, Brannigan, he's a
where
Chicago cop.
it's the dirty
Yeah,
cop going after the yeah.
but McHugh is the one, 74 where he's got a gun out and all that. Um, that was influencing the old, cowboy type, thing.
Uh,
But I wanted to pull up Paint Your Wagon, that cast, because you've got Lee Marvin, Gene Seberg, Ray Walston, who was, my favorite Martian, well, your favorite Martian too, um, but, kinda funny.
yeah, you
But
see that guy
anyway,
in stuff every now and then.
yeah, Mr.
Painting
Hand in, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, eh,
yeah.
but yeah, Paint Your Wagon, it was a musical, Clint sings, I Still See Elisa, and Lee Marvin sings. It just a real quirky kinda movie, 1969 Western musical. Then things get serious with Two Mules for Sister Sarah, that's a great one, Gun Running. Then Kelly's Heroes, one of my favorite war
Oh,
movies.
that's a fun movie. I like that one.
Yeah,
A bunch of misfit crew.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Kelly's Heroes and, The
Donald
Dirty
Sutherland's in
Dozen.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
List
um,
out the cast of Kelly's Heroes because that was a good cast.
Donald Sutherland, um, Don Rickles, Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood, I believe, Elizabeth Taylor's husband is in that. Let's go to Kelly's Heroes.
That was a fun one. I remember watching that when I was a
Yeah,
kid and really
uh,
liking that one.
but it's to me, Kelly's Heroes is like that. Oh, Telly Savalas is in there, um, Carol O'Connor,
Yeah.
George Savalas was in there, Telly's, brother with the big, thick black hair, he was on Kojak. Len Lesser, who was, better known as, Uncle Leo in Seinfeld. Stuart Margolin was Private Little Joe, who played Angel on, Rockford Files.
Yeah, that's what a great actor. That
Harry
guy's a
Dean
great actor.
Stanton is
Yeah,
in,
it's a killer
Kelly's
cast.
Heroes. Gavin MacLeod, who played, Captain Steubing from Love Boat. This was a stellar cast.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
anytime you got
Harry Dean
Gavin
Stanton,
MacLeod and
Don
Harry Dean
Rickles.
Stanton in the same room, get out of here.
Yeah, Gavin MacLeod, I'm not so sure about, but Harry Dean Stanton, Don Rickles,
Yeah,
Donald Sutherland,
Telly Savalas.
Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas. I mean, come on.
And
And
they're
the script
all
was
over in
really good. It
Europe.
was a fun story.
They're all over in Europe, knocking back, sodas and up to hijinks and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
Don
kinda li
Rickles was out of
it
control.
it's kinda like they're kinda like these countercultural freaks. It's a little bit like a veiled movie about probably some of the more mellower times in Vietnam, some of these hippies
Sure.
doing crazy shit, but it's a good
Yeah,
movie.
Donald Sutherland was Sergeant Oddball, and just a tremendous,
Yeah,
character.
yep.
Um, and then The Beguiled, which is a fucking amazing movie, remade in 2017. We won't discuss that one. Um, but Clint Eastwood's version, uh, is just epic. He is a Civil War soldier who, gets taken in at a woman's, like a woman's school, a school for young girls, and he's just literally surrounded by smoking hot babes. Um, pretty, racy
Another
movie.
another sign of the times, late '60s, early '70s,
Yeah.
sexual revolution.
Yeah, everybody's, kinda gunning for him in this movie, and all these chicks are just, sexy as hell, and, but a really good, you know, Civil War kinda drama, not so much an action movie. Um, and then his first director movie, Play Misty for Me, where he's this, kinda high profile jazz, radio DJ, and,
Right.
he's up to his eyeballs swimming in all these different girls, and this is basically the, Fatal Attraction for 1971. Uh, he gets this, relationship with this girl, and he's thinking it's just a one night stand, and she's, cutting up his, picture with a butcher knife. She's stalking him, trash and stuff. Just really, you think about how women with misogyny in the '60s, women were, only in a certain role, and here's this standout role where this female is like, "Fuck you. You're not gonna ignore me," and
Right.
just it's a little disturbing. It's very disturbing, but, and then from there, Don Siegel really took, Eastwood under his wing and, like, told him, "Look, this is." We have Don Siegel to thank, I think, for the legend that Eastwood became, um, where he did act in other people's movies, but he very quickly became comfortable in that director's chair, and as he goes along, I feel like his directing and his movie choices are almost like somebody who's a painter,
Mhm.
who's painting these masterpieces, just very, um, taking their time and choosing the right role, the right, next step.
I've got a couple things to say about him as a director. I did freelance film and video work for a while and I met some people who worked on his sets, and he you would think he takes a lot of time, but he's one of the most efficient directors in Hollywood. Him and Woody Allen are known for, like, a lot of these directors, like you saw the hours when he was on Rawhide, 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
if you're working with Clint Eastwood or Woody Allen, apparently, it's 9 to 5. Get
yeah,
in
and he
there,
if he likes it, it's good, let's go. Yeah,
set up, and they and then apparently someone was telling the story about how he was, uh there and so he likes to be efficient, but he knows his shit, so he can do that, and it still looks like he took forever setting up the shot because he's a great director. But they were on the set, and it was a group scene, and he likes to keep moving, he don't like to fuck around, and there was this extra that kept coughing and fucking up the takes. And finally, after that happened, because he likes to get 1 or 2 takes and let's move. So, finally, after they're on, like, the 3rd take, which is unheard of, because this extra keeps coughing. Finally, he looks at the extra and he goes, "Take a hike." And the extra goes, "Oh, no, I'm good, I'm gonna go." "I said take a fucking hike."
that's beautiful.
"Okay."
Now, there's another one on that subject. There's a great bit where Tom Hanks describes his experience working with Clint Eastwood, um, which I could just send you the link. We don't have to play it during the show, but I could play it on my phone. It's like
How long is it? Well,
a
then
minute
play
and
it
a
on your
half long.
phone. Play it
Okay.
right now, let's listen to it.
All right. So here we go. Tom Hanks on our show.
That's right.
They make a big deal about action, you know. All right, let's start it up. Get ready, everybody. We're rolling. We're rolling. We're rolling. We're rolling. Rolling. We are rolling, people. And everybody, stand by. And action. Clint goes like this, and everybody else goes like this. Which means you're rolling, and then he's standing right next to you, and he says, "Okay, go ahead." And then you do it, and then he'll say, "Just take that again. Just do it one way." And then you do it. He says, "All right, that's enough of that." That's it. I said, what's the deal? Why did that come from? And he said, when he was doing Rawhide, right? Right. He had all these old movie directors who just loved the megaphones and the attention, and they did the same. So he and all the other cast of Rawhide are on their horses, and they're supposed to do something. They have a conversation, and that whole build up to action would make the horses go like this. Had it spin like. And so one day he said, in an inaudible way, "Is there any way that you could just, just tell us to go instead of saying action, so the horses won't flee?" Well, one guy did it once, but they love the action. Oh, wow, that's amazing. So there you go. What's it like working with Clint? He treats us like horses. He treats actors like.
There you go.
And well, here's the.
So, good stuff. But
Hey, can you
there's another actor, I forget, they had, like, a really dramatic scene, and Clint Eastwood's like, "All right, we're done with that," and just on the next thing, and this guy's, like, looking for some kind of, um, you know, accolade or something on his, performance, and Clint's like, "Yeah, that was great. Let's go on to the next thing." So, um, anyway,
can you hear me now?
yeah,
Alright, I guess
yeah, I could hear you though.
I'm gonna have to hold down this temporary unmute button for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, there you go. Well, I could hear
I'm
you the whole
muted.
time. I
You
could
could
hear
hear me
you
when I was
coughing.
coughing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I know.
So you could only hear me when I was coughing, but now fucking thing.
Yeah, just keep your finger on that. No sound. No sound.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Alright, I just
Okay.
keep my finger on the fucking button.
Right on. So
Anyways, that was a funny story.
so we're talking about Dirty Harry and just the quintessential Clint Eastwood role. There were 5 Dirty Harry movies, and that first Dirty Harry movie, loosely based on the Zodiac Killer, and, it poses, you know, a debate in that movie where, Don Siegel was very much a Democrat and Eastwood was more the Republican, but you have the scene where the killer is, basically caught, he's been shot in the leg, he's down on the ground, and Eastwood's coming, uh Dirty Harry's closing in on the guy, and the guy's just a real sadistic bastard. And there's a girl that's been kidnapped, and she's basically buried alive somewhere. And he's trying to find where this girl is. And the killer is laughing at him, like, well, you got to arrest me, and, all this. And Eastwood's like, you're going to tell me where this girl, and he's like, I'm a victim. You can't hurt, just they in that scene they present both sides of how society was or still is, and Eastwood just stands on his wound to try and get a confession out of him. And you know I don't have any sympathy for a sadistic killer like that, um but you've got people screaming now about the drug dealers in the boat that got bombed, and now they're worried about trafficking drug dealers. Society is so messed up,
Well, it depen it's the same debate you had back then. You had the tough on crime people, and then you had the soft on crime people, and it was the same debate you had back then. Pauline Kael, hated Dirty Harry because she thought it was propaganda for the Nixon administration,
Ah,
because they were tough on crime. So, I
right.
mean, nothing's changed, it's the same old shit.
No, no.
Nothing to get too worked
I
up
feel
about.
this a lot of ways. I think it was worse then, but he does Dirty Harry, and there's a sense of humor throughout Eastwood's movies. And Joe Kidd is just there's a scene where Joe Kidd is this problematic loner type in a heavy, heavy drinker. And just one more night in the jail cell, he wakes up and he's surrounded by these 3 outlaw Mexicans. And the guy, he's got a pot of soup or something, and, he looks over at Joe, and he's like, "Do you want a bite?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he's, "Well, too bad," and turns his back on him. And then later in that scene, Joe's getting bailed out, and he's got the pot of soup in his hand, and, he ends up, like, just slinging it all in that guy's face. And it's, like, really funny,
Yeah,
kinda
there's a
slapstick.
lot of funny stuff. I think it's 2 Meals for Sister Sarah. It's one of those, westerns. He gets served lobster at dinner, and he's just w totally it's like, "That's a goddamn big ass bug,"
Uh-huh.
because they look like bugs if you think
Yeah.
about it. I mean, they probably
Yep.
are bugs technically. Um,
Yeah, they're
and
a
then if
crustacean.
yeah, and then, of course, we'll get to you know, uh Gus Wheeler threatening to light
Oh, yeah.
himself on
Well,
fire. We'll get to that.
the
Yeah.
best one of the funniest scenes with Dirty Harry or with, Clint Eastwood, Joe Kidd, he gets called up to John Saxon's office, and, he's a bit of a gunslinger. Well, so is Don Stroud, and Don Stroud is a bit, jealous of Eastwood's attention from John Saxon. So Eastwood gets to the top of the stairs as Joe Kidd, and here's Don Stroud's character. And he says, "Where the hell you going?" And Eastwood doesn't say a word. He just grabs him and slings Don Stroud down the stairs. And he just goes ass over tea kettle all the way down this flight of stairs. Um, and it's just hilarious. But Joe Kidd, a must see. These are all must sees at this point. After Hang 'Em High, Joe Kidd, High Plains Drifters, the next one, one of my all time favorite Eastwood westerns. High Plains Drifter is just incredible. And there's a running gag in that movie where he keeps taking the girl. She pretends she doesn't want it, and he takes her in the barn and rails her. Um, but some could scream misogyny again. But um, High Plains Drifter is just an epic, epic movie. And then
Not to mention that it provided the song title for an excellent Beastie Boys song.
there you go. Um, and that's very important. The next thing he did, he directs this. He's not in the movie. It's called Breezy. A young hippie chick gets taken in by a an older businessman, and an affair ensues. But this was like the older guard noticing these young hot hippie chicks in the late 60s. uh, Breezy. I believe that was in the early 70s, 71, probably 71. But that was a definite breaking away from his usual fare. Um,
I think what I wanna do since we're talking about the Clint Eastwood humor scenes is when we get to the Deadpool, I am going to personally act out the Gus Wheeler scene for
oh,
everybody.
fantastic.
So
Um,
let's not forget that,
no,
and
we
you
will
have a
not.
poem. We will not
Um,
forget your poem either.
no. So Breezy, not one that you need to go out and see, but it's worth just watching Eastwood's directing style. Um, so
So you
I
said
would
it's not one that you need to see, but it's worth
not
watching.
not epically, you're not, it's not like we're not talking High Plains Drifter, but as a fan of Eastwood, it's worth checking out. Just don't expect action movie, you know. Um, and then he's
Got it.
back to it with Magnum Force, uh, the second um, the second Dirty Harry movie. In this movie, you see Suzanne Summers completely naked in the pool. Um,
I think it's just her
that's worth
tits, no?
seeing.
Pretty
Huh?
sure it's just her I'm pretty sure it's just her
Yeah, yeah.
tits.
Well, that's good enough.
No, it's not complete, but
Phenomenal to see that rack like that. Um, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, one of my favorite Jeff Bridges movies. Really good. And um, Jack Ken what's the George Kennedy. George Kennedy is back from I believe Where Eagles Dare uh in Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Um, Great movie. And then The Eiger Sanction. I think George Kennedy's in that too. Um, no, that Eiger Sanction is a World War II movie. That's really good. Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, epic, epic western. That's where he's got that crazy blonde that he was banging around with. She's in there.
yeah, uh-oh. We got
And
the,
then Condor.
Snags and
oh,
Silky.com. We got
Condor in the house.
bugs. We got hot cocoa. Try now.
Hot cocoa.
Yeah, I'd say a pretty dumb idea is putting dill pickle seasoning on French fries. I'm
Okay,
looking
Yeah,
at you,
and that
McDonald's.
we have
and
dill
Looking at
pickle seasoned
you.
french fries on
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why
snagsandsilky.com.
they
and
did that for like Christmas or something. Like
say Clint Eastwood's the man.
Clint Eastwood's the man.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
I don't really know him though.
Oh, you know him. He's Dirty Harry.
What? Who's really?
Okay. We'll talk
I'm
soon.
genuinely.
You got some educating to do there, looks like.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah,
He
apparently,
knows
yeah.
who.
My dad
Alright.
got a comically large hammer from my mom.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
great, man. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Uh You never know what he's gonna say. Uh,
That's what
so
makes
Outlaw
it
Josie
interesting.
Wales, epic, epic movie. Um, that's
Can
where
I just say, your
yeah.
son is our Larry Bud Melman.
Yeah, just
That's
appears out
exactly
of
what he
nowhere.
just shows up and
Uh,
says crazy shit.
yeah. Outlaw Josie Wales, one of the lines, he's wanted all these, bounty hunters coming after him, and the guy comes in looking around, and, he says, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy," and the guy turns around and leaves, comes back, and he just blows him out, but I always like that line. Another line, I forget which movie it's in. It's one of these where he says, "A man's got to know his limitations," and, I just that's, like, one of my favorite Eastwood quotes, and, it's just so true. You can't get above who you really are. You have to know your limitations. You have to, do things the right way, and that's Clint Eastwood right there. Um,
Words
and
of
then
wisdom.
The Enforcer, the 3rd, Dirty Harry movie where, uh, Black Panther character says, "Well, if it isn't Mighty Whitey and friend," um, who went on to, be Cagney in Cagney and Lacey,
There you
uh,
go.
his
Yeah, I remember
co-star.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. The Gauntlet, another movie with that blonde freak from Outlaw, Josie Wales. I
What
can't
was
think of her
her
name.
name? Talia Shire or something?
No, Talia Shire was the enforcer.
Yeah, this is basically some chick he was banging, so he was putting her in the movies.
Yeah, yeah. Then Escape from or
Tanya,
Every Which Way But Loose with
it
the
doesn't matter.
orangutan. That was very popular, late '70s.
Which
Escape from
was the, uh
Alcatraz.
which was the inspiration for BJ and the Bear.
Oh, yeah? Did
Well, it
not
had to
know that.
be. Well,
Oh,
it had to
sure.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll paint it our way.
Yeah,
Um,
go with that. That's a
yeah,
trucker and a monkey, I mean, come on.
uh-huh.
Those weren't
Um,
2 independent ideas.
well, he was a bare knuckle boxer. He wasn't a trucker in that.
Oh, okay. Then I retract my hypothesis.
No, we'll go with it. And then Escape
Okay.
from Alcatraz. Eastwood, born in San Francisco, had a long, long love affair with San Francisco. Is very, from just a filmmaker's point of view, it's its own character. San Francisco's featured in so many movies, but Escape from Alcatraz, just a great way to go back to a very famous story about these 2 guys that allegedly escaped from Alcatraz and were never seen again. And he does just a great uh, directing of this movie. I think the first 2 or 3 minutes of the movie are complete silence, and he just holds you captive.
I don't think he directed that one. He was in it.
No,
Yeah.
um,
Who directed that one?
uh, I don't see it here, so he did not direct it.
No, I
'Cause I
got a
made a
list of the
list
ones
of
he
his
directed.
top 10.
Yeah,
I made a list of
yeah,
his first 10,
yeah.
but, yeah, I mean, we can go down the list. I hate to just beat a dead it's just so many epic, iconic movies. Bronco
Well, let's,
Billy was like
yeah.
the last of the rodeo kinda traveling, cowboy shows, and I don't think it did well, but, it was a good movie. Um
White
Firefox
Hunter
was a
Black
great one.
Firefox was fun. I remember seeing that in the theaters when it came out. That's good 80s Cold War fare.
Yeah.
Bird
Honky
about
Tonk
Charlie
Man is kind of a Hank Williams type movie, with
Bird
his
Bird
son
about
Kyle.
Bird about Charlie Parker is great.
Yeah.
White
Sudden
Hunter Black
Impact, the iconic Go Ahead and Make My Day, the 4th Dirty Harry movie. Um,
White Hunter
Tightrope, which
Black
would have been a Dirty Harry movie, but set in New Orleans, and
White Hunter Blackheart, which is about John Huston making African Queen.
Bogart.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great movie.
City Heat with longtime friend Burt Reynolds. I wanted to mention City Heat more in the Burt Reynolds uh, episode, but this was a great movie because the two of them were basically at the end of their rope uh, in the early '60s. Burt Reynolds left or he left Gunsmoke in '65, and basically Eastwood was done with Rawhide in '65. But there was a point where both of them are, walking out from Universal like, "What the hell are we gonna do now?" And they knew each other back then, and so it's just really cool to see the two of them, um, still very much in their prime, do a movie together, and City Heat is that movie, and, it's just a
Um,
classic to see 2 guys that knew each other that, far back.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is a great one, just a spooky kinda noir set
Mhm.
in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, that's another directing
Mystic River.
only. Yep.
Yeah,
Mystic
he
River.
directed that one. John Cusack is in it, and he's great.
Yeah.
Mystic River's fucking great. Gran Torino is awesome. Just this
Yeah, that's
cranky
a
old
great one.
politically incorrect motherfucker.
We've
It's
skipped,
great.
Pale Rider, like, at the time, you thought that was gonna be his last Western. Pale Rider is awesome, great movie. Heartbreak Ridge, another good one, and then Deadpool. So tell your Deadpool thing. Jim Carrey auditioned to get into Deadpool, and he sent
Jim
he sent, Eastwood a videotape of him just basically imitating, Axl Rose, but just hysterical.
Yeah,
So,
and he got in, and he's in
yeah.
there. He's in there as a crazy rock star singing "Welcome to the Jungle." It was before Guns N' Roses was so big that you had to identify that song with Guns N' Roses.
But
Like,
yet
they had
Guns
just
N'
come out,
Roses is in that movie. They're in the movie Deadpool.
but Jim Carrey's the rock star who's singing the
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
So, so it didn't have to be Guns N' Roses because they weren't really an iconic band at the time. They just threw Jim Carrey in as the singer, and he's hilarious. Um, but there's this scene that you and I always quote from that movie, and we went and saw this in the theater when it came out.
yeah.
And this scene fucking cracked us up. But basically, there's this guy threatening to light himself on fire on the street, and Dirty Harry comes up upon the scene, and Gus Wheeler goes, stay back, or I'll do it. I'll light myself up right now." And this TV reporter's like, "We're live with Gus Wheeler, who claims responsibility for the Deadpool murders." Gus, "That's right, I did it. I killed them all, and now the whole world's gonna know my name." And then Dirty Harry walks up calmly. "Keep the camera rolling. Just don't get too close." Says that to the reporter, and the reporter's like, um, "He's not the camera. He's just some nobody." "Hey, Gus, take it easy." "You stay back. I mean it. I'll burn myself right now." And he's got a, it, dose. He's totally covered in gasoline, and he's threatening to, threatening to light a match. And, Harry's like, "Nobody wants you to do that, Gus." "You're damn right, because then everybody'd finally see me." He's falsely claiming responsibility for these murders. "I see you right now, Gus. You got the whole city watching." "Nobody ever saw me before. 38 years and nobody ever knew I was alive." "They know now. You made your point. Put the lighter down." "No, no, this is it. This is my shot." And he's shaking, and then he's like, okay, he's gonna put the lighter down. He's fumbling with the lighter, and there's a spark, and then he accidentally lights himself up, and just burns himself
Fucking hilarious.
down. It's
We,
hilarious. Everybody's gonna know Gus Wheeler.
Gus Wheeler, yeah, just,
Yeah.
epic movie. And then I do wanna mention, so he did The Rookie with, Charlie Sheen, um, which it was just like a pair of, uh, well-worn shoes for Eastwood, just a real easy kind of, old reaching down to bring the new up, um, and
Yeah, it
it's
worked
got the
out.
yeah, yeah, The Rookie, it's got some good lines in it and stuff, and then he does The Unforgiven, a fucking fantastic movie,
That was
he
huge when it came out. That was a
huge,
masterpiece.
and he it really was a masterpiece, and that's where I say he's like a painter. He just paints this amazing, um, gritty, uh, characters over this canvas of the Old West, and, um he's just got some great lines, Gene Hackman in there, and as violent as the movie is, you it does it an injustice if you don't mention that The Unforgiven was mainly a vehicle for, anti-violence. He was just showing
Well,
the
that was the main
brutality
message up until
of
the very end where he had to kick some ass.
yeah,
Like, I remember
um,
watching that and actually being surprised that there was all the vengeance was wrought at the end because it was such an anti-violence movie, and at
yeah.
the end, they're like, "Eh, fuck it, we're gonna kick some ass."
Yeah, but, he was just driven to that point, he didn't wanna, but they killed his friend, and then Eastwood just was basically putting a movie out each year, and, so In the Line of Fire was a decent movie, Perfect World, a really good movie, Kevin Costner's in that, probably his best, role, Kevin Costner, uh really good movie. Bridges in Madison County with Meryl Streep. Um, not one that basically a movie you took your wife to see or your girlfriend, and you wanted to see it because Eastwood was in it. But it's really basically a chick movie. But still, the balls to make that kind of movie. Um, and
I
then
think that's based on a
Absolute
classic,
Power and
like,
True
Pat
Crime are
Conroy
just
book.
yeah, Absolute Power and True Crime are like going through the motion movies. There's some worth there. Space Cowboys was like getting the band back together. He gets all his old friends. Um,
That's like Firefox, it's just a fun popcorn
yeah,
movie.
a good one. Bloodwork, I just hated that movie. Um, did not like Bloodwork. Million Dollar Baby, I didn't like that. He makes a boxing movie. Hilary Swank, falls and hits her head on a stool and dies. I don't believe she
Must
was
be
on
because of her
drugs either.
drinking, though, because you can't
Yeah,
yeah, you can't die
yeah.
from falling,
So,
according to Gene.
yeah, but the Million Dollar Baby, when we're done, I'm gonna send this DVD to Gene Simmons, Million Dollar Baby.
Yeah, good
So he
idea.
can see what that's about. And then Gran Torino, like we said, phenomenal. Then he does Trouble with the Curve,
Can I
which,
s say
you know
one thing about Gran
yeah.
Torino? That was that script was written as another Dirty Harry movie. It was Dirty
Really?
Harry retired, yeah. That was originally written as a Dirty Harry movie and pitched to him, and he's like, "I like the story, but I'm not doing another fucking Dirty Harry movie," and so they
Wow.
changed it to non-Dirty Harry, cranky, sitting on the
Uh,
porch drinking beer. It
I
would've
I
been
well, I
interesting to
like it.
see as Dirty Harry.
I like him having to deal with the different culture, like, right next door, and, I really liked it. It's a tough ending. Really tough ending. I remember seeing that movie and walking out like, "What the fuck?" And I had to talk myself down like, "Dude, it's a movie. Just,
Well, it was
take it easy."
also a very 1970s ending where just
Yeah,
everybody the character you love dies in the end, the
yeah,
easy rider type of ending, you know?
right. Uh, so Trouble with the Curve is a baseball movie, and, uh, not really memorable. I didn't really like it. American Sniper, incredible movie. Um, really pulls
That
on
one is
you.
classic. Sully
Yeah,
is classic.
yeah. Sully, The Mule, I think is his last good movie, because
I did
he's
not
in
see
Cry
that one.
Macho, and I did not like that at all. I mean, we could go on all night on. Eastwood just has made uh, countless epic movies. Most of them are worth owning, and there's probably a small handful like Cry Macho I just don't care for, but, I think
Yeah,
that humanizes him,
I
you
agree.
know?
I didn't bother seeing
Um,
Cry Macho, but, most yeah, he's I mean, n 90
but definitely see The
97%
Mule.
are good.
Yeah, definitely see The Mule. That's good,
I will
and,
look for that one.
anyway, it's time for, Poetry Corner with Old Silky. Uh,
Alright.
this one is this one is called "You People Need a New Sheriff." Alright, here we go. A
Lay it
lone
on us.
figure walking into town, leading his horse. Torrential downpour, unfazed. He lights a stubby Toscano. He scans a crowded, smoky saloon. Piano planking away in the background interrupts a poker game. Deals in a hand, 5 card stud. 3 aces over 3 kings. Didn't hear what the bet was. Your life? Alive or dead, it's your choice. 3 figures block the doorway. Let red go. Silence, except for the pounding rain. Hell unleashes as 3 deadly bullets rain down upon these rogue bandits. $2,000. Aren't sheriffs supposed to be courageous, loyal, and above all honest? There you go.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Another
get you
masterpiece from
right there.
Watch
So
Out
I
Charles
guess that's
Bukowski.
Uh, yeah, I was worried that's like a, synopsis of, Few Dollars More, but I think it puts you right there. So, that's
Absolutely,
the in
man, that captures
that's
the
the
vibe.
intent.
I agree. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got, man. Anything?
That's Clint Eastwood, boys and girls.
Kids? Yeah. Old Clyde Eastwood. Um,
Yeah,
definitely, worth, going through his, filmography and, getting in touch with what's, real out there, so,
that's right, damn it. Alright, well, we got,
there you
lots of more shit coming up, so, stay tuned, the Snags and Silky channel, and you'll find out what it is.
That's right, damn it.
Peace out.
Deuces. Deuces.